So we had a conversation earlier this week in preparation for today's session. And Peter, you stopped me on the use of convert, and it triggered a very interesting conversation. So so we've been using the word convert for, since the inception, and the word convert has been used. And the convert revert debate notwithstanding, you said that you're not keen on the word convert. And it was the first time that I'd heard kind of opposition to the word, but it was interesting. So can you shed some light on why you think the word convert perhaps is
Yeah,
problematic?
welcome to everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallam. Yeah, I'm, because I'm very English, I have feet in two kind of worlds. So I sit very comfortably in the Islamic world, and I sit fairly comfortably in the English world. And so I tend to see things from two sides of the world. Now, the problem is revert and convert are very heavy words to apply to something which I feel that those words don't really apply to. And they were given or used by people who don't know the English language. And I think that's a big problem with our Islam that we use in the West. Now, revert. When I became a Muslim, I did not revert. The moment I said the Shahada, I was the same person I was before I said the Shahada. I didn't revert to something else. I embraced something. Inshallah, I became a bigger person, a more open person. And the only way I can describe it is if somebody invites you to a luxurious meal, that person has a choice. They can say yes or decline it. And I embraced it. And for me, it was a continuation of already the spiritual journey that I was on. And I think to a non-Muslim, that is a barrier to say that you have reverted to Islam. Because if they're at that point where they're ready to accept Islam, why are they reverting to someone? Now, I know there's this idea that when you're born in that people say that you're born a Muslim. You're not. You're born in the state of fitra, which is purity and the way of purity. But you do not. Your journey can take you to become a fire worshipper or whatever. Those that were blessed and graced by becoming Muslim, we became Muslims, and also. Convert is also very confusing. It's like I was something and I converted to something else. See, that wasn't my experience. And when I met one of my first teachers within, within a few weeks of accepting Islam, I went to Morocco and I met a great, great scholar. He was already 100 years old. And when I met him for the first time, and I entered into his room, and all I could feel in that room was an ocean of peace. And I felt so much compassion from that person. And we were introduced to him. I was introduced to him, and then he said to me, now you have two imams, or now you have two guides, Sayyidina Muhammad and Sayyidina Isa. Jesus and Muhammad. He didn't separate me from what I was before. He joined it, and it was a continuation. And that is a very broad understanding of our journey, and specifically my journey as an English person that had accepted Islam. And it was really, there are people you could go today and say, okay, you've become a Muslim, please, everything else before you is wiped, forget everything else. It is not like, I don't believe that's it. And I don't believe that. That's just my personal understanding, actually. So anyway, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I want to find a new word for us. I mean, I'm not a convert, I'm not a revert. I mean, I'm a Muslim, but maybe we need to find a word that implies that we've embraced something, more, you know, or bigger. I mean, of course, Muslim is an accepted term, but I mean, for me, I just don't like those words. And if people want to use those words, we need to find something. We should find a cool word that the youth like, you know.
I
Anyway,
think
that's my what do you say, preach box for the day.